And welcome inside the J.K. Irving Center in Bucktouche, New Brunswick for a rematch of a showdown that happened just last night. It's the Greenfoot Capitals and the Moncton Rockets here on High Button Sports. Last night, the Greenfoot Capitals, they took a 5-4 victory over the Moncton Rockets, where the Rockets had led most of the game. The Capitals were able to make a last-second comeback in order to take that one by a score of 5-4. These two teams both coming off the female ice jam that happened in Halifax, Nova Scotia earlier this month. The Rockets made it to the semifinals and unfortunately took a 2-0 loss to the Calgary Fire. And these same Capitals were knocked out by the Moncton Rockets in the quarterfinal. Quickly brought up, it's shot in there by Commier. Trying to find it behind the net was Ward. She'll push it over into the corner. Up towards the blue line it goes. Attempting to put that one to the net, but it's blocked before it could get outside. In the middle it is now. Poirier going back to the line. Sent up top there. Ward skates it in for the Rockets. Along the boards it'll go before it'll be found in the corner. Pushed up there for Beaton. She finds it in her own zone, cuts to the middle. Now on the far side now, going up against Richard. Will be able to get by her and dump it in order to make a change. Rockets reset in their defense. Brought up towards the ringette line, the saucer pass. It's picked off there by Payne. She finds her way the other way. Payne trying to get that to Jodry. The shot off the blocker of Redmond and steered aside. Kearney going back to her defense. Back up there for Jodry. Intercepted. Colpitz brings it back the other way. Colpitz tried to get the little dish off to Alain. Couldn't get it there. It's rimmed around the board. Stopped in at the Rockets' blue line. There's a shot off the pad. The rebound. Colpitz. Another good save. Lauren Delaney, the starting goaltender for the Capitals, having to make not one but two saves within the span of a couple seconds. The Rockets with the first big chance of this game. Here's Bourgeois at the line. Waits. Moves her way to the middle. The shot is blocked there by Odin. It's sent back to the Rockets' blue line. Moved across over for Radier. Radier, that one's too hot to handle. Goes in between her feet. Cutting in deep. There's O'Dane. Behind the net now. Battling there's Josie Leslie trying to get that one to O'Dane. Finding her way in the corner now towards the hash marks on her backhand. She's taken down. And the Rockets will be able to take over possession. That one put to the line, but kept in. They still look for it. On the backhand there, I believe that's LaPierre trying to move that one back in the zone. Or excuse me, that's Kelly. Rockets again at their own blue line. Pote checked. Capitals go back the other way. It's O'Dane that will backhand that one in behind the net of Redmond before going off for a line change. Rockets will regain possession. There's the stretch pass in the middle. Moving up there is Daniel. Leading scorer, unable to get anything going there for the Rockets. They'll have to reset. Back to the line, it's Poirier. Trying to walk the line, slips and falls. Luckily, her other defense right there was waiting. That one looks to be pulled as that one sent up into the middle there for Ward. Ward across the blue line. She's immediately met with a Capitals defenseman. Behind the net they go. Battling up there is Savoie. Up the line, it's bumped up by Parsons, trying to get that one out. It's at the ringette line. They decide to go wide, and this one will work out as they get outside the zone. A little collision along the bench. Capitals move it the other way. Here's Dowling in the corner. With pressure, gets it in between a foot. It goes bouncing back up towards the hash marks, but ultimately taken out of the zone by the Rockets. Potential 2-on-1 developing. Here it is, the pass across. Back to the middle from Richard, and tried to hit Zoe Savoie and was just unable to do so. Capitals will bang this one along the glass, out of the reach of Driscoll, delayed offside, but brought out there by Prince. Prince, the pass to the middle, walking in, there's the shot, and Redmond will be able to steer that one aside. That looked to have been Sadie Walter, who had tried to wind her way in. There's a Rocket taken down nearing the corner. Capitals move it up to the blue line. Walking there, they're unable to get that one, is Marley Payne, now having to go all the way back to her own end. Tied up there with Alain. There's Colpitz to bring it up. Around the boards it'll go. Skating for it, there's Richard able to keep that one in and tried to get to Ale behind the net. That one was blocked away. Here's Payne finding it in the corner. Payne cutting right into her, creates a bit of a risky move, but it'll pay off as she gets it out of the boards and out of the zone. Another delayed offside. Picked back up there by Payne. Payne over to Jodry. Jodry, the pass will fly right through the neutral zone. Won't hit anyone. After the deflection in the zone by Daniel, it's cycled around for Sadie Walter. Up the boards, it'll go now right to the middle, taken by Asbridge. Capitals regain possession again. Along the blue line it'll go. That's Payne that'll dump it in before making a change as the Capitals try to get set up here. Here's Kearney on the far boards. Kearney trying to look for it. That one picked and stolen. The Rockets go back the other way. It's been a back and forth game so far in the first 5 minutes. Radier stepping in, trying to get around Leslie. Taken by Daniel. She'll backhand that one to the line. Here's the shot incoming, and that was redirected off a Capitals stick and will find its way behind the net. Rockets will try that one again. Not shooting from the line, going to Daniel across for Bourgeois. She sees an open lane, the shot, and the save is made there by the chest of Delaney. And Josie Bourgeois, or Leanne Bourgeois, excuse me, stepping in with a massive slap shot. Had time and space. She used it incredibly effectively as now the Rockets have it back to the line. It'll find its way back behind the net. LaPierre picking it up for the Greenfoot Capitals. They try to go up towards the wall. There's Poitier in the mix-up. McFadden, Danielle, as well as O'Dane. It's Poirier that comes out with it for the Rockets, turning at her blue line, barely staying in. Now has pressure from behind. Charlotte O'Dane applying tons of defense before it's flipped all the way out. This one looks like it's going to go right on the net of Redmond, so no icing there against the Capitals. Rockets will have to reset, turning and spinning. Poitier loses possession. Now it's poked behind the net by Ward, who just freshly came back off the bench. Poitier trying to find her way behind the net, has two Capitals surrounding her. And this one will finally go up through the feet of a Capital, now down to the opposite end. Leading the rush there, that looks to be Colpitch trying to spin around and get that one on net to the blue line. There it is, and the shot just missed, and not by very much. Now one at the side of the net, still loose. They bang away at it. Behind the net it goes. Still banging away at it. It's one Rocket and one Capital. That looks to be Sydney Power of the Greenfoot Capitals. This one will spring out for Ward. Going up to the line. Cormier trying to bat that one in. It'll find its way out to the neutral end. In reverse, Boutillier. Trying to throw that one up against the wall. Blocked in almost by Cormier. She now has to retreat. Here's Boutillier. Not too much time and space. Has to quickly whack it to the center. There was a threatening Capital. Now Parsons stepping in. Her backhand will find his way into the corner. Parsons now battling up with a Rocket as well as another Capital. A 2-on-2 there momentarily. And there's a Capital falling down. Rimmed around. It's caught at the ringette line. Flipped high. On the near boards now. Alain trying to move her way down in the zone. Kept in as she was in a battle there with McHenry. Along the red line, shot in, almost blocked. Going to be steered away by Delaney. It'll find its way behind the net there for Beaton. Going into the zone now. Carly Beaton still with it. 1-on-4 going in and was unable to get around one as she tried to use the body where she was promptly swept away. At the line, held in by Walter. She'll bang that one up against the boards. Taken by Prince now behind the net. She gets in a quick battle with the Rockets defense. And now almost a big hit laid right in the corner. Physicality really ramping up between these two teams. There's a shot from Redmond, the save. And that was Bean trying to get right on the rebound, but was just one half a stride too late. To the middle now in the red line. They look for it as multiple players go crashing up. Zara Prince will throw that one into the zone. And this one, an icing going to go against the Capitals, so they are unable to change as we'll find our way back to the zone of green. Not too often there's two dark colors playing in one game, but we have maroon versus lime green here in this one. Taken around the net there by Marley Payne. Around the boards, trying to get that one to Astridge. The Rockets keep it in, find their way back in the zone. Toad right there, there's a loose stick. It's the one of Astridge. And that stick may have helped in ending that rush. Here's McFadden walking in and firing. And that one's blocked off a shin pad. A clutch block there from Walter, waiting at the perfect place at the perfect time. Up top, Plurd fakes the shot. She'll drop that one off McFadden. Moving to the middle, back to the blue line. Here's Poirier. There's the shot. Paddled away into the corner. Danielle, first one on it. She's taken into the corner there by Walter. Poirier back to the line, back down to Danielle on the ringette line. She cuts to the middle with a nice move, throws it across to her opposite D-man. There's the shot, and Delaney's there to make the save in the butterfly position. McFadden trying to find an open target. Here's Poirier waiting, cutting back. Now lets one go off the pad of Delaney. McFadden almost got the rebound. That one got caught up in her skates. They take it up. Astridge will be able to get that one out off the bank on her forehand, and that gives a much-needed chance for these Capitals to make changes. About a 2-minute shift for all of them there, unfortunately. Getting caught in just the most unfortunate positions. There's Boutillier going back for the Rockets. Has pressure from 2 Capitals. It's taken over by Team Green. Trying to walk in the face-off circle here. It's taken back and curled around by Chanel Cormier. Throwing around for the captain, Poirier. Now, Capitals forechecking here. A great display. There's Jodry still causing some disruptions, and the Capitals might be able to keep this one in the zone. Here's Prince coming down from the line. Jodry giving a little bump. Here goes Kearney trying to go behind the net. Still a tie up there, right along the boards there with Prince. Rockets in the center. Moving up here, Richard along the right wing. We'll throw that one in. It'll glide along the boards and come to rest behind the net where 2 players will battle up for it to the line. Held in. A bouncing puck finds its way into the corner. Stopping, waiting, and trying to get that one out in front. Now pressure along the boards. It's Prince having her hand wrapped around Cormier. Shot blocked at the line. Rockets come in at the side of the goal. And that one off the skate of Delaney. Almost took a horrendous bounce. Now it's back out here by Harland. Barely held in at the line again. The Rockets are doing a great job at holding the line so far, forcing the Capitals whenever they can get it out. They just need to dump it in and go for a change. And here they'll start it up again. Ringette line, shot up. 2 great chips off the boards to find its way into the zone. Here's Bourgeois. Going in, getting a low hit there, and there's another body check. Now it goes to the line. Waiting, firing, that one way wide. Colpitts will find the rebound. Backhand up to the line for Bourgeois. Again, it'll find its way down the boards. Alain up to the line, Bourgeois. She lets one go, and another save made by Delaney. That's 2 cylinder shots from Bourgeois. Walking in at the line, shooting it just near that sponsor logo, maybe the ringette line. She's been in that spot all day so far. Only 11.5 played so far in this game from the JKI in the city of Bucktouche, New Brunswick. Walking in, there's another try saved by Delaney. She has to quickly pounce onto that one. It's a tie-up off the draw. Taken back by the Capitals defense. Little D-to-D pass as it's shot off the glass. Bourgeois unable to catch that one as it takes an awkward bounce. Or it looks like she got a piece of it and touched up by the Rockets, so it'll be called a hand pass. So far, not too many whistles. 8:16 left to go in period 1. Face-off won by the Capitals. Walter going D-to-D and tried to spring that one up there for Prince. She gets that one into the zone. Moved back by Bourgeois up the wall. Taken by Danielle. She has it in on her backhand, but was quickly swept away. McFadden will send that one into the zone. Gathered behind the net by Walter. She'll move that one around. Banked off the board, stopped in there. Prince tried to get that one out. Capitals are going to try to go the other way now. Up the wall. And there was Poirier lifting the stick of a Capital. And Danielle somehow keeps that in. What a move. Danielle stepping in, tried to pass that one backdoor. McFadden walking in as the trailer. Also tried to get a shot off. McFadden working in here. Tried to find her way down. It's Walter that gets given a big jolt against the boards. McFadden in the opposite corner now. Up to the blue line, D to D. That one just stays in the zone, but barely. What a move from Poirier to shake off. Believe that was beaten there. The attempted drop pass doesn't go as planned. It's taken back by the Capitals. They'll go in past the red line, dump it in. Redmond stops it behind her net. Absolute domination of puck possession right now for the Moncton Rockets. And here's Melody Cormier sending that one into the zone. Stopped in behind the net. It's Leslie turning, now getting pinned. Cormier's one of them in there. Now back to the line. Another shot. That's another good save by Delaney. She's been peppered so far, especially from the blue line and from the ringette line. All Rockets defenders getting chances to put one on net, and they're looking for that one juicy rebound to come out. Leslie trying to hold the line. We have a penalty here coming up against the Greenfoot Capitals, so we're going to have a Rockets power play. There's a shot attempt from Cormier. She couldn't quite get to it. Extra attacker on the ice. Not for too long, so we have a whistle. And we're going to see the game's first power play at 6:14 of the first. Face-off won by the Rockets. Poirier will send that one across. There's the shot, and it's redirected up and into the protective netting. At the line. Back with it. Waiting is Ward. She lets one go. And it looked like it was Cormier who tried redirecting it in, but didn't quite get a piece of it. Poirier leaving that one off for Danielle, across for Ward. Ward stepping in, back to the line for Poirier, catches it on her backhand, puts it to the net, redirected, and it's just wide of the right post. Ward, she now pins up Lapierre against the boards. Lapierre trying to find it just above the corner, pinning it up now, just a minute and 20 still to go on the Capitals penalty. And that was to Josie Leslie for head contact. Only a 2-minute though. And this one will find its way outside the zone. I believe that was Asbridge getting a touch of it. Capitals the other way. There's Asbridge with the shot safe from Redmond. She'll feel safe enough to play that one out. And what great forechecking there as two players go down. That's either Jodry or O'Dane applying some good forecheck. Now back the other way. Richard throwing that one against the wall. Caught at the opposite ring line by Danielle. She makes a nice move getting into the zone. Danielle losing possession, gets it back. There's the shot attempt, didn't get on net. Another try. Cormier will try to put it on net. Danielle the rebound, and he just fanned on it. Couldn't quite get a stick on it. Boutillier at the blue line. Waiting. Crossing that one to the far boards. Back to Boutillier at the line. Boutillier, she'll let one go. And that one blocked out in front, right in tight. And that one will find its way down 200 feet. The length of the ice, just 10 seconds still left to go on the Leslie head contact call. It's Bourgeois that brings it up for the Rockets. That one immediately picked off. And that looks like it's Driscoll going the opposite way to the middle. What a pass. There's the shot that just misses the cage right as the penalty expires. What a rush from Ella Driscoll. Just couldn't quite finish it off the pass. McFadden stopping at the hash marks, now turning and firing. She has three Capitals on her, excuse me. McFadden attempting to go up to the defense. Fitzpatrick, that one got caught up in her feet, and it's rotated back there for Arsenault. Arsenault through center. That pass picked off and taken by Payne. Payne trying to spin and fire. This one again caught in. Capitals might have a rush here. Working in, it's Kelly off the pass. Down behind the net there of Redmond. Getting now just to 3.5 to go in period one. Capitals almost able to keep the zone. Skating around for it, there's Dowling. Dowling behind the net. Now has it in the corner. Dowling trying to go up high. That one swept and taken away by McHenry. McHenry finding her way into the near corner. Up to the point for Walter. She shoots. Pad save by Redmond. I don't believe she saw that whatsoever. Some nice moves here. McHenry to the side of the net. Her sharp angle shot was turned away there by Redmond. Capitals still with possession here as they get some light right at the end of the first. Walter going down. That one out of the reach of McHenry. Multiple players going after it now. Parsons will find in the opposite corner at the line. Held in. What a move by Wilkie. There's the shot from the blue line. The pad save. They look for the rebound. And I believe that was Prince who couldn't quite get a stick on it. Or McHenry. Rather, McHenry cutting to the middle. The nice move. The shot is blocked. And this one will fly over the net. A good rush here from the Greenfoot Capitals. Another pass is picked off. It's kept in the zone. A good move here from Parsons as she gets to the middle of the pass. Knocked it down with a stick. Gathers it again, and that's a high stick. So unfortunately, that play is whistled down for the Greenfoot Capitals. But what a rush. What a pass. A minute and a half to 2 minutes by the Greenfoot Capitals in the zone. Finally gaining some momentum here, but the faceoff will have to go outside the zone. So here we'll start it up again. This time it's the Rockets that take possession. They've been great on faceoff so far. Melody Cormier into the zone now. She's trying to throw that one out in front, and that one just missed the target, not by very much. Looked like that was going to head outside the zone, but it's blocked and kept in. Capitals are going to have to restart. Around there by LaPierre. Had tried to get it over. Capitals again off the wall. The late icing, but this one's not going to get there. It's going to be brought up by Poirier as she sends that one over to Alain. Alain across. Almost deflected, or it will be deflected in, but just barely. In the corner now, they fight for a minute and a half to go. Cormier trying to throw that one out in front, taken away by the Capitals. They move it back. It's Beaton throwing that one up along the wall, and this one will get there for icing. And overall, not too many whistles so far in this first period. This is still scoreless. Although many chances quickly around the league. The Western Wolves are up 5-0 on the Fundy Kraken. And the Cape Breton Lynx, they're up 4-3 on the Eastern Stars. All those games are also on High Button Sports here on YouTube. Boutillier off the draw. Waiting, there's a shot, and that one just missed wide. That one looked to have had a chance. Rockets here. They try to set it up and cycle it around. Fandon pass by Radier, kept in the zone by Boutillier. Boutillier, the pass in the middle. Here's Radier with the shot. And that one didn't miss by very much. Again, missing right. Danielle going up to the line. Dropped off for Boutillier. Down low for Radier. Now she climbs back up, hits the brakes, goes across, and that pass is just out of stick reach there. McFadden will find it in the middle with a nice toe drag to get around. Prince McFadden now cutting back to her own end. Has a pressuring Capital. That's Kearney. Rockets back the other way along the left wing. There's the shot that'll bounce off the back of the post. Radier going into the corner. Here's Payne. Around the boards. Capitals with a saucer pass to the middle. I believe that was deflected off the stick there of Jodry as it's going to find its way into the zone. Rimmed around the boards, caught in by Danielle. Between her legs, taken up by Driscoll. D-to-D pass for the Capitals as they now bring it back. It's Kearney that turns and fires and then goes for a change. Chasing there is Asbridge. Asbridge keeping it in. It's poked around a couple twigs. In there was Kelly out of nowhere, try to keeping that one in. It'll leave the zone. Attempting to fire that one back in before the clock hits all zeros other than where it says period one. It is 0-0 after the first period. We end the first like we started the game tied at 0-0. And we'll be back after a quick first period intermission. Bringing the lane with you. J.K. Irving here in Bucktouche. here we go, getting all set for period 2. Game is still scoreless. Both teams with amazing chances, but the majority of the period dominated by the Rockets. The Capitals had a great push towards the end of the period, but both teams unfortunately unable to capitalize on any chances as we start the second period here on High Bun Sports. It's one in, taken by the Rockets. They'll dump it in, try to establish some offensive zone possession. Grabbed behind the net there by Leslie. She tries to go around the wall. That one grabbed behind her there. That looks to be Power trying to dangle through a couple men. Stopping in at the line here. It's poked out. Now could be a rush. Going back the other way with speed. That looks to be LaPierre. Walking in. There's the shot off the crossbar. And what a goal that would have been. Holding that in the line there is Leslie. And oh my, nothing more to say about that. My apologies. I believe that was Abby Kelly that clanged it off the bar there. Walking in. There's a shot that deflected off the glove of Delaney. That was Danielle stepping in with a drive. Comey at the line, waiting and firing. And that one was almost redirected in the net, but that one just sent wide as well. Another try from the line. That one, a blocker save with ease there by Delaney. Cormier trying to hold it at the line. Battling right up against the ringette line. Held in. Cole Pitts tried to send that one over to Bourgeois, and that one outside. The Rockets will have to reset. Bourgeois over to Cormier. Cormier through center, deflected off a couple twigs. One of them almost went off a plurd. Here's Harland behind the net. Ellie Harland trying to get around here. She's going to get it back after the first attempt. Around the board, she'll go. And this one redirected out, will not be called icing, as that, I believe, went off a rocket. Here's McHenry hitting the brakes. In behind her, there's Parsons. Parsons trying to go to the net, trying to go to the slot there, and covered and smuggled up by Redmond. And a big chance for the Capitals after the huge rush from the Rockets. Shots on goal after the first period. They were 11-6 in favor of the team in maroon. And so far been pretty even in the second period. Both teams have gotten great chances. We're going to have another quick whistle. Face-off will go just outside the visiting team's penalty box. Won by the Rockets. They'll send that, or the Capitals, excuse me. They'll send that one into the zone. Boutillier around the boards for Alsano. Alsano throwing that one up through center. No one there. That's going to be grabbed in by Wilkie. She'll move that one in, but she's just behind the red line. So that's an icing against the Capitals. Face off to the left of Delaney here. And there it is. It's a bit of a scramble, but ultimately taken by the Capitals as they try to go around their net. At the hash marks here, a couple players go crashing in. It's Alcino that's able to keep it in. Sent to the middle, but intercepted there by McHenry. She headmans that puck up. Now stopping in the corner there, that looks to be LaPierre. Goes around the net now. Asbridge stops, cuts out in front right to the side of the net. Couldn't jam it home. Rockets in the corner, turning around. Alcino waits. Sends that one to the far side. Now a pass to the middle, trying to cut around and go behind the net. There's multiple Capitals there, and two players go tumbling down behind the net there of Delaney. But back the other way, it's Kearney shooting that one in. Stopped. Kearney again blocking that one in. It tried to send that one to Jodry. They battle up against the boards. Kearney trying to cut to the middle. She had her stick lifted. Danielle taking that one out. Payne dishing that one off. It's dumped in with a little flip. in the corner, around the boards. Danielle trying to poke that one out. Stopped in by Payne. Trying to hold it in there along her feet. Kearney there as well, but it's poked down into the zone. Going around the net now, it's Colmier. She stopped. Here comes Fitzpatrick in to help. Fitzpatrick up to Poitier. That one banked off a body. Will go back to Fitzpatrick. She'll send that one through the middle, threading the needle up there for Radier. Radier over to Danielle. Danielle stepping in. What a move. That one out of her reach now and stopped and covered by Delaney. So still no goals to report. Only one penalty so far, and that was Leslie earlier in the first, going off for 2 minutes for head contact. Other than that, just shots and saves so far in this hockey game. But a thrilling game nonetheless, as the Capitals try to exit. Quickly turned away. Radier gets poke checked. It's back for the Rockets. Colmier turning this one over with a pass. Almost a dangerous play there as pulled. Will get that one out in the middle. Rimmed around the net of Redmond. Rockets try to force that one up. It's Prince blocking that one in. All the battles along the near boards. Capitals take over. And that one, Radier will break that play up. Shot in there by Walter. Delayed offside for the Capitals now as they're making some last-minute changes. It's flipped up through center. Getting it in there is Kelly. She's hit against the boards. Rockets bring it back in. Waiting. Here's Colbitz with a shot. And that a great save there by Delaney, keeping this game still tied at 0. There's another try, and that one just whizzed wide of the cage. Arsenault flipping it in along the dasher. Caught in there by Wilkie. Her clearing attempt goes to the line, but no further as it's kept in. Around the cage now goes Savoie. Savoie gets pinned along the boards. She has help incoming, but as well, there is Leslie. Still battling for it. Power in there as well. Still look to poke it through. Savoie gets it across. Move back along the net there. Zoe Alain going after it. Alain up the wall. Tries to cut to the middle, and she was poke checked there by O'Dane. Capitals back the other way. Walking in, here's Kelly. Trying to get a shot off. That's where her dangerous shot off the crossbar came from just earlier in the period. To the middle now. Cleared in, and that one finds its way into the Capitals bench. So we'll be forced to have a stoppage of play with just over 14 to go in the second. Still waiting on our icebreaker here in this one. Fitzpatrick across for Poitier. The Rockets move this one in along the blue line. The shot, that was blocked. It's turned away. McHenry also blocked. Now the pass to the middle, and that one's intercepted by Parsons as she tries to headman that one up to McHenry, brought back by the Rockets. There's a shot that just goes over the net. Fitzpatrick, there's another one blocked off a shin pad there. I believe that's Dowling getting in the way of that one. Fitzpatrick this time unable to hold the line, but it's Poirier that will find the errant pass and try to dangle by a couple. Dowling applying huge amounts of forecheck pressure. Fitzpatrick the pass through center. Taken back by the Capitals. Back off the feet of Poirier. She brings it in. Audrey Poirier in offside. So two teams there that are playing a bit of catch in the neutral zone. Fighting for possession still. No one was able to get until Poirier tried to make a rush into the zone and got caught offside. Rockets back in their own end. It's Cormier spinning and turning, and they get the rush going up there on the far boards. It's Radier. Had tried to move that to the middle. Along the boards it goes. Potential rush here. Asbridge moving in. Great defense by Chanel. Cormier to steer to the side. Just Bourgeois behind the net. This one a shot from the line. It's redirected in front by Asbridge, but wide of the cage. Asbridge down for Kearney. Kearney behind the net. Up to the boards there for Harlan. Harlan back for Kearney, and that pass deflected off her tape. Right to the side of the net, they jam at it in the blue paint. Kearney will find that one loose. On her backhand, up to the line. Leslie, the shot blocked by Danielle. She's going to have another try, and this one sails over the net. Behind the net now, they battle for it. Here's Radier along the ringette line. To the middle now for Danielle. Back for Radier, trying to keep possession as she gets to the near boards. Maëlle Radier gets poked. There's Danielle in behind her. Radier giving a shove there as Kearney now goes behind the net. So rim that one around in the far corner. Asbridge turning, spinning, and passing that one against the boards. A little flip to center there. It bounces over the stick of Jodry. Walking into the zone, stopping there, McFadden. McFadden waiting, scans for her options. Goes behind the net. Attended one-touch pass out in the slot. That one fanned on. The Capitals go the other way. Another misplaced pass ends up with Zoe Annes. She gets it there. She starts the rush here for the Rockets. Annes steps in, drops it off. McFadden stepping in. There's the shot. And that one a save, and that was Boutillier that let one go, not McFadden. Here in front, there's another shot on Delaney. She gets that one off the stick and into the corner. Capitals try to reset there. It's all the way down the ice. Chasing on it is Plurd. She'll throw that one around. Stopped in there. The Capitals try to find their way inside the line there, right at the blue line. Brought back in the zone by the Rockets. Around the net goes Poirier. She'll drop that one behind her. Fitzpatrick. She'll hit her target. There's a nice little toe drag there by Annes. She tries to send that one to Plurd. Plurd stepping in. There's the shot. Delaney's able to make the save on that one. Capitals in their own end. They'll shoot it up past Fitzpatrick. Cutting back there, Savoie. Savoie trying to go up the line. Delayed icing here as they chase for it. And this one will be called off. Backhander behind the net now. Shot in, blocked by the skates of Comier. He shot the shot to the net. That was deflected off a stick of a Capitals defenseman before it could get to the net. Rimmed around the boards here. Kelly. She'll put this one now on. And this one does not look like it'll have enough for icing. They'll wave that one off shortly after. Rockets now. The pass intercepted before he could get out of the zone. Here it is, going to Power. And that one will skip on to Redmond in the net as we get to about halfway through the second. And we are still scoreless. Unlike some other games currently happening and have finished, the Cape Breton Lynx have defeated the Eastern Stars by a score of 5-3. The Western Wolves are still at 5-0 on the Fundy Kraken. And this game is still 0-0. We'll continue the face-off to the left there of Redmond. Rockets take over. Bourgeois behind the net. Goes over to Comier. Chanel Comier up the wall. Poked there. A little pass in the middle from Savoie. Didn't get anywhere. And there's a huge collision right at center. Yeah, we are going to have only our second penalty of the game. And it's going to be the Capitals that have their chance on the power play this time. And it's going to be a body contact call. Do not pinpoint exactly who that was that headed into the box. We'll get it here soon, however. Pinning against the boards now, but the Capitals take possession here on the power play. Going up to Kearney at the ringette line. Kearney goes down low, back up high. That one out of the reach of Payne and outside the zone. This one will go. Kearney along the red line. Shooting that one in past Boutillier and Richard, taken away by Bourgeois. She'll rim that one around. It's to be stopped by Driscoll. Poked by her at the line for Payne. Payne along for Kearney. Kearney stepping in. She shoots, and that one's off the top of the pad of Redmond. So make it Chanel Cormier for body checking. There's Payne. Another try. It's deflected the rebound. They score! And we finally get the icebreaker at 9:20 of the second on the power play. Chloe Jandry waiting right out in front of the crease. And she'll tap home and gather the loose change right out in front. Right place, right time. The Caps are up 1-0. Rockets look to respond. Danielle bringing that one in on her backhand. Trying to move that one out in front. Regathered back. Danielle still in the battle behind the boards. That's a nice move by Radier. Back to Danielle. There's the shot. She scores! Or not. One ref says yes, one ref says no, and there it is. They will call it a goal. What a snipe. Annabelle Danielle. And the Capitals coach, not too impressed with the call, but at least from here, that definitely looked like it went in the net. And what a momentum killer there for the Capitals right after their power play goal from Jandry, the assist to Prince. It's Annabelle Danielle that will get the goal unassisted for the Rockets. And that's only her 27th goal this season in about as many games. Now, Kearney stopping. Looking up Richard. Throwing that one across. Rockets move their way up. There's another shot. And that one's saved and gathered up by Delaney. So we hadn't seen a goal this entire game. And now 2 goals in the span of 16 seconds. Now leaves our game at 1-1. Here's Fitzpatrick at the line. Fitzpatrick, there's the shot. And that one off a shin pad. Now pass to the side of the net. Taken around by Power. Stopped by Fitzpatrick. Her shot is blocked. Going around the net. There's Wilkie. Wilkie will thread the needle right up through center before going up the wall there to O'Dane. O'Dane will clear that in around the boards. Bourgeois throwing that one along the wall. Caught in by Kelly. Kelly and Bourgeois going after it before it's flipped out there. And it'll go all the way down the ice. Someone out of the reach of LaPierre. LaPierre around for Payne. Payne stopping behind her net. Takes her time before going up to O'Dane. Now taken away by Boutillier as they go up against the boards. It's left off there as it's shot in by Payne. This one will rebound right in front of the net. Redmond not going to hold on. 4 Rockets there. She'll pass that one out. Saucer pass blocked in by Prince, but then off a body there of Plurd. Now taken away by Driscoll. Driscoll stepping in, waiting and shooting, and that one paddled away. Right in front, there's another try. Redmond the save, and it's loose right outside the blue paint. Driscoll gets her stick slashed out of her hand, and that's going to be a penalty charged against the Rockets. And the timekeeper will see a familiar face. It's Chanel Cormier that heads back to the box. That's going to be 2 for a slash. Chanel Cormier now. And the Capitals, they have another chance. They're 1 for 1 on the power play so far. Here's Kearney, pinned up against the boards by Danielle. In to help is Driscoll. Driscoll and Danielle going after it. Now it's Kearney going behind the net. She's taken into the boards. Kearney, backhander up for Driscoll on the hash marks. Pressure from Danielle. She goes up to the line. Driscoll waiting, looking for options. Winds in before dropping that one off the line for Kearney. Kearney moving that one across, but it's Danielle with the poke check, and that one will find its way all the way down the ice. Payne passing that one up. Danielle causing some disruption shorthanded. Driscoll will now find it against the boards. Driscoll skating up, hits the brakes. Now having to go back. Dropped off for Prince. Prince stepping in. She's hit against the boards. And puck will fly out to the middle, and it's outside the zone. Capitals get it back on defense. There's one Rocket that goes to change. Capitals now in the zone. Moving around there is Leslie. Leslie behind the net, picks it up, tries to feed the man in front, but then goes up to the line. Back for Leslie. Leslie to the top of the circle. It's Wilkie. Moving that one across. Back up for Wilkie. She'll get this one on her backhand. Go to Leslie. Leslie waits, tries to go to Wilkie. Tied up there by Radji. To the net, it's a bouncing puck, and Redmond's able to pounce on that one. And Boutillier had lost her stick there. Gets it back. 33 seconds still to go on the Rockets power, or on the Capitals power play, excuse me. And Radji gonna kicked out of the draw. Bit of confusion. In comes Poirier to take it. To tie up still at center. Got in by Arsenault. Arsenault on her backhand will find it and send it into neutral ice. Stepping in, Asbridge. She's hit there. And that's going to be another penalty coming up against the Rockets. Potential time for a 5-on-3. Power stepping up. She slips. That one's touched up. So 11 seconds of a 5-on-3. And then we'll go to a 5-on-4 power play. So 5-on-3 in favor of the Greenfoot Capitals for a couple seconds. Fake slap shot the line. Kearney going down into the corner, out in front, redirected off the stick of Redmond. Cormier now out of the box. That's Chanel Cormier now going to the bench with a 5-on-4. Capitals passing around at the line. Waiting, there's a shot off the pad of Redmond and out. Payne's unable to get to that one. Less than 5 to go in period 2. Payne across for Kearney. Kearney will get that one along and make her way past Poirier. Stopped in by Richard. So from one Cormier to another Cormier in the box. Chanel is out. Melody is in for a body check. Driscoll trying to go to the line. Driscoll walks in and fires. And that one just over the net. Would have been an absolute snipe. Payne sending that one down. Richard causing some disturbance. There's a nice play by Driscoll to get into the zone. Driscoll the shot. Save from Redmond. Here's Jodry to the line. Payne fires. Blocked. Taken away. Richard, her clears blocked at the line by Payne. Shot in. Poirier on her backhand. Near boards. And out of the zone it'll go. And I can definitely tell Ella Driscoll looking for one. Multiple shots there on that power play. Really wants a goal here in this one. Now bringing it up. Here's Parsons. On the backhand, will rim that one along the boards. Caught in by the Rockets and outside the zone it'll go. Just 20 seconds left now on the Cormier, on the Melody Cormier penalty. Boutillier will find it behind the net. Sauce that one out. Chasing after there, McFadden, potential rush. McFadden to the middle, trying to do a loose puck deke. That one taken away. Cormier is out of the box. Parsons brings it in for the Capitals. Parsons waits and fires. And there is Redmond to make the save. Still just over 3 minutes left to go. And now even strength. It's 5-on-5. Sent around by Colpitts. Rimmed around there. It's picked up by Plurd. Plurd moving that one in. Taking behind the net there. Savoie will pass that one up. Fitzpatrick unable to hold the line. Capitals go back the other way. Here are the Rockets behind the net now. They bring it up, delayed icing. And it looks like it will get there at 2:38 of the second. Face off to the left of Redmond, 2.5 minutes left. And similarly to the first period, the Capitals get some life towards the end of the period. Here's Beaton in the zone. Beaton going around the cage to the middle. She now skates up past the blue line. Beaton stepping in. Deep in the zone now. Beaton trying to cut it towards the boards of the Rocket that fell on her. An unfortunate bounce there. Driscoll on the ground. Sent around. Payne stopping at the ringette line. Tried to shoot that in. Blocked by Chanel Cormier. Here's Payne. Another try. And that one gloved down by Ward. She'll get that one out. Sent across. Blocked. Driscoll poking at it as well as Jandry's there. Capitals get that one out. That one flipped up high. Skating in there's Arsenault. Arsenault breaks to the line. What a pass. There it is. Off the crossbar. And outside will go into the netting. Minute and a half left in period two. Still a 1-1 game. If you're just tuning in, those goals came within 16 seconds each. It was Jodry for the Capitals on the power play. 16 seconds later, Annabelle Danielle struck for the Rockets. Here's Jodry again, winding her way in. There's the sharp angle shot that didn't hit the net. McFadden regathering for the Rockets. Stopping, button hooking back in her own end. Now waiting for some options. She goes up the wall, past the blue line, stepping in. There's the shot. That zings just wide of the cage. Poitier shooting that one in. Up there to McFadden, to the net. There's the shot, floating one in there. The rebound still loose on the blue paint. They jab at it in the blue paint again, but it's covered by Delaney. Had a couple Rockets waiting back door. The last minute of play here in the second. Driscoll off the draw. She brings it up, accelerating through center. Driscoll skates in. Here's the shot, and was blocked between the shin pad. At the line, Payne waits and fires. Deflected by Driscoll. That one somehow made its way to the net. Rockets win their defensive zone draw this time. It's sent up to center. Here's Plud. Skating in. That pass deflected off her stick. Back up the wall for Driscoll. Driscoll skating in. Hits the brakes. Looks for a pass. And he goes down into the zone. Here's Bourgeois. Pinning her target up against the boards. Being beaten. Beaten behind the net there for McHenry. And that will end period two with the Capitals. Some good momentum towards the end, but it's still tied. It's 1-1 after two. Stay tuned for period three. Brayna Lane from the J.K. Irving here in Bucktouche, New Brunswick. And welcome back to period 3. The last one between these two teams, tied at 1-1. And what a game it has been so far. Those goals, if you're just tuning in, from Jodri and Danielle within 16 seconds. And that was the Capitals getting on the board of the power play goal about midway through the second period. They're 1 for 2 on the power play so far. Here's Anne. Skating out of her zone with it. Zoe Anne still continues with it up the opposite boards to the middle. There it is, trying to get a shot off. And the puck too jumpy for anyone to handle, and it's taken back by Driscoll of the Greenfoot Capitals. She rims it around there. Prince trying to jam it through. Now gets it back within her legs. Looking for it there is Leslie. It's poked into some open ice, almost taken up there. Here's Beaton, charging up with speed. Hits the brakes, then falls down next to the official. Anna regains possession, takes it up here. Anna waiting and firing. That one off the shin pad of Lapierre. Along the boards, McHenry, right off the bench. She gets that, then sends that one up there and trying to hit Parsons. Taken back, Boutillier trips over her own teammate, and it's taken away by McHenry. McHenry skating in along the far boards. Stops, waits. Will back in that towards the net, right in front of the slot. There it is, the backhander, right in the blue paint. It's still loose, and the early whistle will stop that one. And what a chance for the Greenfoot Capitals. Not one, but two Capitals were left all alone with some real estate in front of the net. And a great pass from Eleanor McHenry to wait patiently and send it right to the slot from the line. Here's Payne with a drive, and that one was sent wide of the net. Trying to hold the line. Here's Dowling. Digging for it, trying to get past Boutillier. Here's Dowling, pinching in deep into the zone, now going towards the back of the net. Parsons with a little poke check, taken back by Dowling. Dowling walking up towards the line, stopping at the ring out line, going back down low. It's taken away here by Parsons. Parsons to the side of the net, and the pass there. Almost capitalized by Prince. Rockets, they take control and they go down the ice. Still in the 1-1 game, 2 minutes play here in the third. That one caught loose up on the bench. It's Bourgeois sending that one rink wide. Walking in here, Danielle trying to control the puck to the middle, trying to hit McFadden, going to the back door, and that one out of her reach, and she was also tied up. Bourgeois going down here. Danielle tried to hit Rodier. Danielle still digging in some feet, and that one outside the zone. Bourgeois unable to hold that one. Here's Jandry with speed to the middle, all alone. Here's the shot. They score! It's the Capitals lead here in the third period. Make it Beatrice Asbridge getting the Capitals back ahead. A beautiful play to send it to the middle. And we finally do not have a tie game. Let's see if the Rockets can respond as soon as they did earlier. Here's Kelly skating up through, and that one an icing against the Capitals. And that's going to be Asbridge from Jandry. So a clutch goal from number 7 in green, giving the Capitals a 1-goal lead. Now we're in the final frame. Anna getting a hold of that bouncing puck, sending it down low. It's going to be Colpitts going up against Walter. Rockets, they turn it around and fire it. It's Colpitts chasing after it. There's Savoie, as well as Anna. Colpitts trying to go to the line. Moving back out is Alcino on her backhand to the middle. Here's Colpitts. She'll quickly turn and pass it off. Here's Anna now. It's Poitier off the drop. Poitier to the net, waiting and shooting. There's the save made from Delaney, and the rebound was loose there for a split second. Anna, she gets pinned along the boards there by O'Dane. Looking for it and digging is Zoe Savoie. Rockets will get possession, try to go to the line. Might be another pin up here before Savoie will end up getting that one down to Walter. Beaten, unable to gain control all the way down the ice. It'll go now. Rockets trying to spring this one up, delayed icing, and one linesman will call it off. Taken around the boards. Stopped in there at the line. It's flipped high. Capitals will take over for the instant, but it's out in the middle. Here's Boutillier. Trying to bring it in. Walks the line. Lola Boutillier still with it in the zone. Will dump that one in and initiate a dump and chase. Behind the net, there's Leslie. Taken out in front. Ward tried to get a shot off. Sent in by Boutillier. Ward pinned up against the boards. Cormier in there surveying. Up top for Boutillier goes. She lets one go. It's redirected just above the crossbar. Chanel Cormier in the zone. Has 2 penalties so far, and that shot was blocked before you get to the net. That one just exits the zone. Capitals get that one out. Driscoll looking for it. Off the boards it goes. Looks like that's Cormier trying to shovel that one down, and she does. So after some changes, it's brought out. Here's Beaton. That one, a miscommunication. Bourgeois going back to Harlan. D to D to the middle. It's redirected in off a shoulder pad. Going around there is Dowling. Dowling waiting behind the net. Looks at her options. Will send that one smoothly up to the line. There it is. There's the shot. And the save by the pad of Redmond. Rockets have to fight to clear, and they will. Danielle will get in the middle. Got to watch out now, and some great defense played by Payne to shove her to the side. Parsons going up to Dowling. Dowling now potential 2-on-1. Dowling to the net. The shot is blocked, and there's a poke check. I believe that's Leslie able to keep that one in. Rockets out to center. They clear the zone. Danielle skating in. Winding past a couple. Danielle still with it. Gets shoved. That one past McFadden. Parsons trying to look for it. That's in between the feet of McFadden, and she skates over it accidentally. Capitals out of the zone now. Poirier up against the near boards. Trying to fight off and shake off Jodry. And we have a penalty upcoming against the Capitals. They're going to touch it up here. Or not. Or took a while for the whistle to go there. And it is a penalty against the Capitals. Looks like it's a slash that's being called. So Rockets power play up and coming to try and tie the game. It's Chloe Jodry to the box. Poirier at the line as they start this power play. Here to the net. There's the save, the rebound. They pounce on it, but it's in the corner. And sent out there by the Caps. Picked up here by Aspridge. She has the latest goal here for the Greenfoot Capitals, and she's crushed into the boards. And the fans wanted a penalty on that one. They didn't get it, so the Rockets go back up the other way. Poirier sent to Ward. Ward tossed against the boards. Grabbed in there by Leslie at the wall. Poirier sent across. Here's the shot. Saved by Delaney. 1:11 left to go on the Chloe Jodry slashing call. Here's the face-off to the right of Delaney. Won by the Rockets. Pass to Boutillier at the line. Boutillier waiting. Along the boards it goes to McFadden. McFadden turns to the line. Boutillier waits back for McFadden. She has a bit of room. McFadden cross-ice one-timer. Saved by the pad of Delaney. What a save to deny Leanne Bourgeois. There's McFadden at the line. Goes to Boutillier. She fires through traffic. There's the save off the stick. Rebound is gathered. McFadden will block this one off the shin pad. To the line, Boutillier. 34 seconds left to go. Here's the shot, the save. Bourgeois gets the rebound. She puts it back to the net, off the pad. Taken away to the line. It gets put back over to Boutillier. McFadden walks in, fakes the shot. Curls around again. McFadden going cross ice. Bourgeois to the net, off a pad. And the rebound will be cleared all the way down the ice. And what a good penalty kill and a good power play. Multiple chances. Sailed it around pretty well as it now comes to an end. Here's McFadden. Stepping in. Trying to go to the net. What a move. McFadden pass to the middle. And there was a bit of a bump to knock that rocket off the puck. Behind the net, Driscoll. McFadden on her backhand. Now looks for some open ice. Sends it to the blue line. Waiting. Shooting. There's Boutillier. And Delaney somehow saves that one through traffic. Definitely did not see that one at all to the last second. There's the pass over to Kelly. Misplaced, so it goes all the way down the ice. Boutillier recovers there. There's some one-touch passing that doesn't go as planned. It's brought back in by Dowling. Angled out by Colpitts. There's Boutillier who fell to the ground. Capitals take over to the line. Walter sent across. Here's the shot blocked. Walter will get the rebound. She shoots through traffic, and that had gone off a body somewhere and redirected that one into the corner. Getting down close to midway through the period, the Capitals have gone on the board here in the third to make it a 2-1 lead. They pin their target up against the boards. There's Plurd trying to shove that one in, and that one had gone towards the side of the net. Poirier able to keep that one in, flips it high. Going behind Plord. A loose puck taken by Ward. Ward to the middle, and that one redirected, taken away, and the Capitals will head up ice. Stepping in is Beaton. Poked loose off that one. Beaton trying to go behind the net. Curling around there is Poirier. Going behind the cage now. Sent up towards the blue line. Dumped in, chasing on it is Melody Cormier. She's going to be the first one there. There's a bit of a collision. Both of them went down. A backhander right onto the Capitals' defense. Taken away by McHenry. Now to the middle here, it's Driscoll leading a 2-on-1 with Parsons. Driscoll skating in just barely offside. Now under halfway to go here in the third period. Caps still up by a score of 2-1. It's Leslie. She clears it in for the Capitals. Rockets a successful breakout to at least get out of the zone. That pass to Harlan intercepted and now shot in by Parsons. Caps with it in their own zone. Their defense is changing, so have to make do with what they got now deep in the zone. Here's Chanel Cormier for the Rockets. The backhand was blocked there by Parsons. And we have a head contact call. We'll see what this goes against. It was definitely behind the play. But it is going to go against the Capitals. Jessica Parsons to the box. 2 minutes for a head contact. So the Rockets now with a key power play. And could be able to tie this one up. Poirier off the face-off win. Hovers the line. Sends it across. Plurd to the net. It's redirected. There's a save. And Danielle unable to get the rebound. Here's Kearney. Kearney going in. Taken away by Danielle. Poirier. Curling around. Pressure from Kearney. She'll leave a backhander off. That's taken by Danielle. Danielle over for Poirier. Poirier back to Danielle. Danielle getting into the zone here. Moving in, trying to get around Payne. Danielle still with it behind the net with a nice windmill. Deke tried to go up the line for Plurd. Almost shot out, but gloved down by Poirier. What great hand-eye coordination. Poirier waits. Tries to go back door, redirected, and almost stopped by Kearney, and down the ice it'll go. Only 1 minute still to go on the Rockets' power play. Just 8 minutes left in the third. Poirier emerges from the side of her net. Sends one across there. Moving in is Boutillier. She's quickly turned away and could be a rush back down the other way. Here's Jodry skating in, curling around, set to the middle. Prince couldn't quite get a shot on. She goes to the corner. Prince stopping. Tries to pin the puck up in the offensive zone. Doing a great job at doing so. She's sent down. Rockets go back the other way. Now with speed. Moving in there is Ward. Ward going around the net. Stops, looks out in front. That one somehow ends up at the line for McFadden. 15 seconds left to go. McFadden waits. Down in the corner. Ward flips to the net. No one waiting right in the slot. So that's taken around the net here by McHenry. She'll go against the board. Stopped in by McFadden. McFadden, nice move. Gets around one. McFadden down in the corner. Penalty now expired. To the net. It goes redirected. And Delaney somehow able to track that one. With exactly 7 to go in the third period, the Capitals have successfully killed off that power play, and Parsons is out of the box. Face off to the right of Delaney. Rockets win that one. At the blue line, it's Arsenault that sends it down. Walking in right in the front of the net, and that was just sent wide. A good chance. Going back the other way, Melody Cormier. To the blue line. Arsenault waits, goes down. That pass is picked off, and the Caps go the other way. Quickly turned away, and it's Savoie that leads the rush here for the Rockets. Going behind the net, she's given a bit of a bump. Taken here by Kelly. At the point, Ward trying to keep that one in. Dives to do so. Walking in. What a move. There's the shot off the bar. And where have I seen that before? Right at the start of the second, it was Abby Kelly who did the exact same thing. Poirier the shot. Another good save by Delaney. And that net is the net of crossbar. There was a big collision right next to the near boards. Poirier involved there with the Rockets. Now another attempt. Poirier moving that one to the middle. Shot on net was redirected. And just over 5.5 still to go in this game. Caps are up by a score of 2-1. And this would be some sweet revenge for the Capitals in the Ice Jam. These Rockets defeated the Capitals not once but twice, and one of them was in the quarterfinals in order to send them home. Here's Boutillier with a shot, a bit of a knuckleball. Marissa Richard tried to move that one to the front. Shot in here by Bourgeois at the line. Richard out in front, right in the slot. There's a chance for Alain, and the second chance is zinged out wide. Asbridge trying to keep this one in. Richard put to the middle. That one intercepted by Dowling. Dowling with speed against Bourgeois. Dowling moving in. There's the shot, and Redmond is able to stand tall and make the save. Asbridge finding that on her feet. Now we're in our final 5 of the game. It's a 1-goal game here on High Button Sports. Rockets moving this one out. Anna stepping up. Moving to Danielle. Danielle, the shot, she fanned on it, goes through a couple legs, however. Still has possession for right now. Waiting for her teammates to make changes out in front. McFadden walking in, trying to get a shot on it, and couldn't get the handle on the puck. And the Capitals go back the other way. Driscoll moving in through center. And on Poirier, she's going to try a shot. Ended up being a dump in. Around the net, it's picked up. Rockets with speed go the other way, and there's a huge hit late on the far boards, and that's going to send the Rockets back to the power play with 4:21 to go. It was overall just an attempt at a defensive play, but ended up using too much of the body. So a 2-minute body contact penalty will result in the Rockets going to the power play in another attempt to tie it up. Poirier at the line to Ward. Ward waits and winds up and scores! And that one didn't take very long in the power play. Lauren Ward with her 16th of the season gets this game equalized again. So we now have ourselves a 2-2 game. The Rockets get their power play goal. Now all we'll have to see is if this one ends up being decided in overtime or if we get a last-minute goal here in the last stages of the period. Poirier shuffling it back. We'll go D to D. Now to the middle, redirected off a stick. The attempted clear blocked in at the line. Poirier trying to cut her way to the middle. To the boards. Cormier now stopped in by Colpitts. It finds its way into the corner. There's a rocket that's sent down. The Capitals will be able to clear off of this. Chaudhry to the middle. Send that one across. It'll be dumped in by the Capitals. And that one almost too many players. A risky change by the Rockets, especially trying to go through the door. Here's McHenry in the zone. Clears it down behind the net. Now it's Power. Power trying to send it over. Here it is to the line. Move LaPierre, the shot, it's redirected and just sent wide. O'Dane was waiting right there, but couldn't get the tape on it. Delayed icing. I don't think this one's going to get there, and it won't. Here's Dowling. Leaves it off behind the net there for Harland. Harland going up to McHenry. At the line, it's kept in. There's Bourgeois, the shot, saved by Delaney, and she'll move that one with authority into the corner. LaPierre. Harland against the wall. This one's going to just barely stay in the zone because it's backhanded in there by Richard. Capitals find it in the corner. Sent up to the middle and shot in. Moving there is Harland. Trying to send that one up. Will not go for icing as we get down to just 2 minutes left in this hockey game. Capitals dump it back in. It's Danielle behind the net. The first goal for the Rockets is on her. Rockets break out now. The pass intended to McFadden. That went out of her reach. Backhanded back up and all the way down into the Rocket zone. Again, will not go for icing. A perfect dumping, if you will. Shot to the middle. Anna tried to deflect it to the middle there as she goes up the boards. Boutillier. Move back D to D through the zone. It's deflected by the stick of Wilkie. Wilkie will find it. Over to McFadden now. McFadden hitting the brakes, looking up top to Boutillier. Boutillier shooting that one down behind the net for Danielle. Back up for McFadden at the hash marks. Boutillier, shot put towards the net. It's redirected wide. Danielle waiting. She falls down. McFadden now trying to go behind the net, taken by Wilkie. Wilkie will rim it around the board. That one's just going to go to Danielle. Danielle cutting to the middle. Passes to McFadden in the corner. Up high, Boutillier. Back to McFadden. Cycling the puck perfectly right now. It's in the slot. They jam at it, and it finds its way over and across. McFadden again. Trying to shoot this one to the net. It's Delaney able to cover as there's 34 seconds left in the third. This game's tied at 2. It could have very well been predicted that this game was going to be a close one. And we're going to have a timeout here. The Capitals need to quickly escape their zone or play sound defense. The Rockets going to try to do exactly what they were doing. They were cycling the puck around there like it was a power play. So they look to rinse and repeat, just try to get shots on net, get bodies in front. Here we go, we'll try this one again. Both goalies have been stellar in this game. Lauren Delaney's been on point so far for the Capitals, a huge reason why this game is tied right now. And here we go with the face-off. It's won and taken into the corner. The Capitals will get possession here and have one last rush. Carried up the wall. Driscoll hits the brakes, looks, and goes back to her D. Sent across. Jandry tried to get into the zone. Capitals are struggling to do so, and it will go behind the net. Boutillier finding it here. Stops, goes into the corner. Loose puck now behind the net. It'll be rimmed around over to Boutillier. Boutillier stops for Poirier. Poirier will put it behind her net, and I believe that's all we'll have in the third period, and we still have not decided a winner. So we will proceed into some overtime here on High Button Sports. So stay tuned as we just get a minute break and we'll go to some overtime. And this goal will be decided within one, just like last night. And while we have a break, we'll go over the goals so far. It all started off with Chloe Jandry on the power play from Zara Prince. 16 seconds later, it was Annabelle Danielle unassisted. It ended at 1-1 after the second. The Capitals struck first early in the third. It was Asbridge from Jandry, so give Jandry a 2-point game. And at 4:13, Lauren Ward from Andre Poirier. And that has been our latest goal here in this one. So give us some 3-on-3 OT for 5 minutes. Beaton takes the draw for the Capitals. And taken here by Poirier. A huge face-off win here in overtime. Poirier getting it back. Sent up there for Danielle. Danielle moves into the zone. Skates in behind the net. Tries to cut to the front. Poirier the shot. Delaney the save. Possession turns now. It's the Capitals with it. Walking in there's Wilkie. Hitting the brakes. That pass goes to no one. So an unfortunate turn of events as now Poirier is able to take over. Poirier behind the net. We'll drop it off for Danielle. She'll hover around in her own end, being very conservative here with the possession. Danielle waiting. We'll go up to the wall. Working up there was McFadden before she cut back along her blue line. McFadden sees some room right about the center. She's going to take it. McFadden walking in through the legs of a defenseman. And that one easily turned away by Delaney. As now Jandry got pinned up against the boards. McFadden with pressure there from McHenry. Taken away by the Capitals. So they'll try this one again. Capitals at their own blue line. There's a soft pass up over to Payne. Payne stepping in, waiting to the net. And that one was redirected wide by Danielle. Capitals will leave their zone. Still haven't had a whistle yet. Under 3.5 to go. Walking in there is Kearney. Kearney stopping, getting pinned there by Boutillier. Ward skates up towards the near boards, cutting to the middle. Ward to Poirier. Poirier stepping in with Ward. Poirier cutting back. Button hooks, tries to set it up. Will go outside the zone here, being very conservative so far. Poirier over to Boutillier. Back for Poirier. Poirier cuts up through center. Here's Poirier with a nice move. Poirier stepping in. Button hooks again. And this time again will leave the zone. Did not like what she saw. A lot of time and space here on 3-on-3. Teams are able to be pretty conservative and selective with their chances. The captain, Poirier, will send that one up for Ward. Ward cutting her way in. There's the shot. Scores! Lauren Ward in overtime finishes this one for the Rockets. They take home a 3-2 victory. She gets the tying goal with 4:13 to go. And at 2:33 in overtime, she calls game. So the Rockets finish off their weekend with a 3-2 overtime victory here at the JKI. Make it Ward from Poirier and Boutillier, 2:33. Ward now goes up to 17 goals on the year, 23 assists. And make that Poirier's 32nd assist of the year with 10 goals to go along with it. We thank you for watching here on High Bun Sports. Braden Lane signing off from the J.K. Irving in Bucktouche, New Brunswick.